Hi guys, it's Annette. It's currently Saturday morning and I hope you have all survived yesterday's dressgate. The dress was blue and bronze, as we all know. And I thought I would try to refilm my Christmas in January book haul today. Finally, it's only about a month late. I went a bit crazy over Christmas. I bought about 50 books. I was on holiday in the US and there was Barnes and Noble, and then I made a massive order on Book Depository as well. So I don't usually buy this many books, and I'm definitely on sort of book buying ban now. Even though as we speak I have a book order coming in. I got my last year's bonus money for bookshop and I had to make a small order, smallish, about 10 books for the new releases I've been dying to read. So I'll be filming an unboxing for that one, but I suppose we should get started with the books. So first I got this little red book of selected lyrics from my favorite band. I think it reads kind of like poetry, but I've heard the song so many times that I still hear the melody of the song in my head. So, but it's nice, even though I didn't get the signed edition, but it's still nice that I got it because it's limited edition. So there's that. Then I got the bookshop book by Jen Campbell. I've already started it and it looks really good. Basically tells about these different bookshops around the world. There's bookish facts and stories from around the world and pictures of also, let me see if I can find some pictures of bookshops in weird places. So yeah, that should be good. Then I got Burial Rites by Hannah Kent, which I'm not sure whether this is actually historical fiction or not, but it tells about this woman who's been condemned to die in Iceland, and hopefully it should be interesting. Next I got Angel Fall and World After by Susan Eve. These are post-apocalyptic stories about angels coming into the world and destroying or something like that. And I wanted to read these for ages, but my local bookstore hasn't had the first book, so I've been unable to buy them. But I ordered them and now I have them. Then I got the last, well, currently the last, as in last one out, book in the Raven Psycho series. I haven't started the series yet, but hopefully I will like it. I've heard good things about it. One thing you should know about my book buying habits: I have a tendency to buy the whole series or all the available books out, even before I know if I'm gonna like the series or not, which is bad. But I bought the 4th Blood Promise, the 5th Spirit Bound, and the 6th Last Sacrifice books in the Vampire Academy series. I have the first 3, and I didn't think it at the time, but it appears that the size of the paperbacks is different in US and different in Europe. So now I have the first 3 from New York, and these I ordered from Book Depository, so there's a bit of a size difference, but at least the copies are the same. Also, I got the first 2 books in the Kingkiller Chronicles, the Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss and The Wise Man's Fear I've heard quite good things about this, and I've been trying to get into fantasy more, so I bought those. I think the pile of the books is gonna collapse on top of me, so I'll probably have to put them on the floor or something. Also on the fantasy line, continuing with the fantasy, I bought the Mistborn trilogy in the Pretty UK edition, and there's currently the read-along for this called Year of Cosmere, which I'm trying to participate in. I haven't started reading these books yet, but hopefully I will. And I got The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry by Gabrielle Zevin. I already read this and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars, I think. It tells about this man who owns a bookshop on a small island, and he's really set on his ways, and he's just lost his wife in an accident. When he receives this unexpected package in the bookshop, and it basically turns his life upside down. And it was just really nice. Like, everyone who loves books will probably enjoy this because it was so centered around bookshops and books, and like how love of books can bring people together. Also by Jen Campbell, I got Weird Things Customers Say in Bookshops, which is exactly what the title says. I really like this. I gave it 4 stars. It's quite funny. I've marked all my favorite quotes on it. And hopefully I'll get the next book soon. Because I'm a bit of a history geek and I went to the Titanic Museum in Orlando, I bought a couple of Titanic books. I got When the Astors Owned the New York by Justin Kaplan, which tells about the age of like grand hotels and Astors and whatnot. And also I got Gilded Lives Fatal Voyage by Hugh Brewster. Before our Christmas holiday at the airport, I actually got this magazine as well, which is basically just facts about Titanic and stories about the passengers and photos of like the newspapers and stuff. And blueprints of the ship. Then I got The Alchemist by Michael Scott for my sister, actually. It's her second copy because I was borrowing this book from her a while ago, and let's just say that red wine and books don't mix. So I bought her a new copy to make up for it. And I didn't really get too far in the book, but it's middle grade, and I do have plans to finish it someday. I got these gorgeous books by Splinter Classics. I got Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I got Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I got Emma by Jane Austen. I got Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. And I actually thought that I got these all, but I forgot Sense and Sensibilities, so I have to buy them next time. From Barnes & Noble, I got The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett, which is part of Children's Classics leather-bound editions, I think. It has silver sprayed edges, and the book is really nice. This gorgeous book, Fairy Tales from Around the World by Andrew Lang, and the book is just so nice. And it has also golden sprayed edges, and yeah, different fairy tales. And also, the last one of the leather-bound editions I got this time was Alice's Adventures in the Wonderland and Other Stories by Lewis Carroll, and this book as well is so nice and big. It's like the size of my head. I got the penguin cloth-bound edition of Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert. I've been drooling for this book for quite a while now, and I finally decided to just buy it because it's pink and purple and it has pink end pages, and all I know about the story, I think, is unhappy marriage and adultery. We shall see whether the story is as good as this cover, but basically this was just a cover buy for me. 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray. One of the most prettiest book covers I've ever seen. It tells about this girl whose parents have invented Firebird, which basically allows people to travel between parallel universes. And when the girl discovers that her dad has been murdered and the murderer kind of escapes to another universe, she decides to go after the murderer. And I really enjoyed this book. My True Love Gave to Me by a bunch of authors, edited by Stephanie Perkins. I got the Pretty UK edition. I had a nightmare that I received the book and it didn't have this pink sprayed edges, but luckily that's not the case. I read this one as well. I enjoyed some stories more than others. I think I gave it about 3.5, 4 stars overall. And yeah, it will look nice on my bookshelf. Next I got Schizo by Nick Sheff, which has a really cool cover as well. I read this one as well for leakers from Booklight leakers. Meant along, read along for mental illness awareness read along, and it was okay. I gave it 3.5 stars. I didn't enjoy it as much as The Shock of the Fall from last year, but it was enjoyable. I got I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson, and I absolutely love this book. It's about these two siblings, sister and brother, and they're twins, I think. Something has torn them apart. They're not talking to each other, and as the story goes along, you'll find out why. And the writing was really beautiful as always. Like, I really like Jandy Nelson's style, and yeah, really good book. Recommend. Talon by Julie Kakawa, which has a cool cover because it feels like scales. It's a dragon book. I think the dragons are like living with humans or something, and I don't know really anything else about it, but I'm looking forward to reading a dragon book, which I don't do often, and the book without the dust jacket is really nice as well. Snow Like Ashes by Sarah Roche. About this book, I think it's like a retelling of Snow White, I'm not sure, but it's definitely a young adult fantasy book, and it just caught my eye, so I got it, and I've heard quite good things about it. The sequel, I think, is coming out this year. I got Yes Please by Amy Poehler. Emily from Emily Jean has been raving about this book, and I saw the cover and I was like, yes please, I need to have that one. It's really nice and heavy. It smells really good as well, and it has like all these great photos of Amy Poehler, and hopefully it will be funny. Immortal by J.A. Ward, which is the last book in the Fallen Angel series. I like it. I like the Fallen Angel series a bit less than the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, but it's still really good. Adult paranormal series, lots of violence, lots of sex. And basically this story is about this fallen angel who has to battle against the devil to win 7 souls of people, and whoever gets most souls basically decides what happens to the rest of the world. The Young Elite by Mary Lou, another young adult new series. I think it's an anti-hero story, dystopian, and I've heard really good things about this one as well, so I bought it. I don't know much else about it. There's some sort of deadly disease going and only few people survive it, and the ones who do, I think, get some sort of special powers. So I got In the Afterlife by Alexandra Bracken, last book in the Darkest Mind series. I haven't started the series yet, but now I have all 3 books in it, so I might get on that bandwagon. Another fantasy series, which I've been hearing loads of things about, especially from Elizabeth from Livers and Brooms, and Lainey from Ginger H. Lainey, is Falling Kingdom series. I really like the look of this as well. It's a young adult fantasy, and I got all 3 books out so far. This is the second one, and this is the third one. Oh, I'm running out of space on my floor as well. Too many books. No, there's no such thing as too many books, but still. Also, I got Althea and Oliver by Christina Maracho. I think it's about like best friends falling in love kind of story, and there's some sort of disease like sleeping sickness involved, and I just like the yellow cover. Also, I got Love and Other Unknown Variables by Shannon Lee Alexander. I thought this would be a cutesy romance story, but I think I might have been misled. There's some sort of illness involved again, and I read the front thing, and it says, "The Fault in Our Stars will fall in love with Charlie and Charlotte's story." And we all know what a soap fest The Fault in Our Stars was, so I'm not sure. I guess I'll be reading this when I want to feel sad. I got The Cure for the Dreaming by Kat Winters. I have the first book, In the Shadow of Blackbirds. I haven't read these books, but I really like the look of them. Very mysterious. And I think these books are both like taking place in like 1920s, which is interesting setting. Then I got Horror Star by Grady Hendrix, which is like the IKEA catalog thing. I actually thought that this was a graphic novel, but it turns out it's an actual story with pictures, like from the IKEA catalog. Then I was supposed to be done buying books, but as it happens, I had like 10 minutes to spare at New York at JFK when we were waiting for our connection flight back to Finland, and I bought 2 books. The other one is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr, which has a gorgeous cover. It's a historical fiction set in, I think, World War II. And that's about everything I know about it. So the second book I got was Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Everyone has been raving about this book. I think it's full of like 80s pop references and pop culture references, and it's some sort of dystopian where reality is an ugly place, and people are kind of escaping the world to this like virtual utopia, and I don't know, there's some sort of prize and they start looking for it or something, and I'm very excited to read this. Finally, I have a couple of graphic novels I bought. One of them is Deadly Class by Remender. What was the name? Rick Remender, I think. This tells about these kids who enter a school that's training them to become assassins. The artwork is really nice and pretty, and I love this. I gave it 5 stars, which was no surprise. It's another Image graphic novel, and I've been really enjoying Image graphic novels lately. This one did not disappoint. I can't wait to read the next volume. So awesome. Then I got Sex Criminals by Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky. This tells about this couple who discovers that they can stop time when they come, and when they stop the time, they decide to rob banks. So the premise of this was really interesting. I think there should have been more robbing banks included, but I think it's gonna come in the next volume. It was interesting. I think I gave it 3.5 stars. Also, I got Saga Volume 4 as soon as I got to States, and this came out. I love this series. This is so awesome. The artwork is so amazing. Another adult graphic novel, actually Deadly Class as well, adult, and Sex Criminals, adult graphic novel. This tells about this couple who are from warring races and from the opposing sides, and they have a baby and then they have to escape. Story, I didn't expect to love it, but oh my god, it is so good. Really. Finally, I got Miss Marvel, No Normal, from Wilson Alfona, I think. I'm currently reading this. It's about this Muslim girl who gets these superpowers, and I haven't got much farther than that, but we'll see. This is a Marvel comic, so it's different from Image comic. I'm not sure whether I'm liking it as much as the Image comics, but the artwork is still quite nice. On my phone, let's see what I got. I can't remember. I got Bittersweet Love, White Hot Kiss, and Stone Cold Touch by Jennifer L. Almenkraut, and I read all of them and I really enjoyed them. I think I like them more than the more popular Alien series, the Black series. Can't wait for the third one to come out this summer. It's about like gargoyles and devils and stuff, demons, and they battle with each other. And this girl whose kiss can kill everyone with a soul. Then I got Sweet Reckoning, Sweet Evil, and Sweet Peril by Wendy Higgins. I think that's another demon series, I'm not sure. I haven't read those yet. On my iPad, I got Untold, Unmade, and Unspoken by Sarah Ray Brennan, which is about like a gothic romantic witchy story. That's all I know. Also, I got Forgive Me, Leonard Peacock by Matthew Quick, which I didn't like. I couldn't connect with the main character at all. I thought he was really annoying, and I didn't like it. It was a disappointment, but basically it was a story about this guy who intends to kill himself and his former best friend. Also, I got Maybe Someday by Colin Hoover, which was okay. I think I gave it 3 stars. Finally, I got Don't Look Back by Jennifer L. Almenkraut, which is about a girl who has had some sort of accident and she can't remember anything from her past or who she was. 3 and 5 stars from me. It was interesting, but I think it could have been more interesting. And so I think those are all the books I got. I'm currently still waiting for my current order to arrive, so I'm filming unboxings as they come along and hopefully getting it online at some point. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!